Welcome again to my channel. This is Sheldoc's channel. Now in this video we'll be looking at the engine coolant. Now before I go into that, I will be looking at the routing of the hose going to the radiator and back from the radiator into the engine. So here we have the radiator cap. Now in order to open this, you can twist it to the left 2 times and then it opens. You can feel a tension on it while twisting it 2 times, and then you can fix it back in that position. Ensure that it is properly fixed, because you don't want, when you're operating the engine, this can fly off. And you have radiator fluid or you have cooling fluid all over your vehicle. So here we have the radiator of the engine. It starts here, right below here, and it comes as far as here. So this metallic thing down here covers a section of the radiator, and here we have the radiator fan, and this is the fan that I'm turning here, and the fins of the radiator are actually inside. So here are the fins of the radiator. Now let us look at the routing of the hose from the engine to the radiator. So here we have one of the hose, and the cap that is here is always connected to the hose that is leading from the engine. So here the hose coming from the engine, it is located right below here. My finger here is pointing to where it is fixed to the engine, and this is the clip that holds it to the engine, and it comes under this hose, comes here to the radiator cap on into the radiator right here. So coolant would flow in this hose going to the radiator from the engine. Now the next one is at the bottom of the radiator. So here it is. Now this hose is connected to the bottom of the radiator right down here, and the cooling liquid is pumped from the engine through this hose into the engine here, and then it enters the engine right here. So this hose is the one that leads the cooling liquid from the radiator into the engine. Now when should you change your cooling liquid or your coolant? Or is it necessary to change it if it is not giving any issue? Now I have my vehicle for over 6 years. This is a 2011 vehicle, and since I had this vehicle, I've never changed the coolant in it, and it has never given me any problem. And I would assume that from the person who had it before me also never changed the coolant in the cooling system, engine cooling system. So the question is, should I change it or not? If it is not giving me any trouble, I will not change the coolant in this engine, because it is not giving me any problem. I do not have any leak, neither is it coming out through the cap going into the overflow tank any at all. Since I have this vehicle, I have no problem with the cooling system. So I can safely assume that once your cooling system is working properly and you do not have any leak on your cooling system, there is no need to change your cooling fluid, whether it is oil cool or whether it is coolant water cool. So for my advice, if it is not giving you any problem, don't change it. On the other hand, if you have a problem, you may need to change it, bleed it, and replace it. But otherwise from that, do not change your coolant in your engine. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and have yourself a nice time.